Alright, timestamp September 1st. But barely, it's like 12:30, it's like 30 minutes after midnight, something like that. Making some coffee. I'm gonna be going to bed here pretty soon. Got the front mowed, including all the sawgrass. Hold on a second here. There we go. Put coffee in my cup and I realized that there wasn't a whole lot of creamer action going on. It was a little darker than I prefer, so had to get some more creamer going on there. Come on. There we go. Alright. This is not because I just did an OnlyFans recording or anything like that. It's because the house is torn up. I took a shower not too long ago, and I'm just feeling too lazy. I'm gonna be going to bed soon. I don't usually wear a shirt to bed, so we're good. Long day. I just watched a trailer for a Christopher Reeve story movie, Superman something, coming out pretty soon. I just watched like a 3-minute trailer for it. It's probably going to be an excellent film, but man, quite the gut punch. You know, some of you younger folk won't necessarily have the warm fuzzies for Christopher Reeve that, you know, us 80s kids might, because I mean he was our Superman. And to be fair, the first Superman movies, for me, the first one was a little long, to where it kind of too long, got stretched out. Superman 2, though, especially the Richard Donner director's cut, whatnot, one of the best superhero movies ever made. Just is. But yeah, that I saw the trailer, watched the trailer, I was doing some YouTube action. That's a gut punch. Wow. Yeah. I found I think his name is Lee Fogel. I think that might be right. I watched a couple of his videos. He is in like the West Palm Beach area. Older than me. Honestly, he looks like he's probably in his late 60s, maybe 70s. But I guess he was an Iron Man, not Robert Downey Jr., an Iron Man competitor. You know, the Iron Man athletic tournaments. And he got COVID, has long COVID, and I'm still wondering if I've got some of that action going on too. Had COVID 4 times. 1 star, would not recommend, you know. He also has pulmonary fibrosis, which is one of the things that I was actually scared to pieces about when my doc ordered the CT scan. I looked up the various things that, you know, could cause a wheezing sound that would make a doctor send you for a CT scan. And that was one of the things that popped up. And I think it's a lot more aggressive than COPD, you know, as long as you're not smoking and all that. There was a certain amount of ugly. It honestly, that was actually the one thing that was the one diagnosis that actually had me the most concerned, to be honest with you. COPD, I was like, okay, not great, you know. Lung cancer, obviously that's a killer too, but I also know that, and I know that not everybody survives lung cancer, I'm well aware of that, but I know that with like chemo and some of that stuff, and I know that sometimes the cure is almost as bad as the disease, but if we're talking like real early, maybe we could kill it off. But pulmonary fibrosis was like the number one, oh dear God, please don't let it be that. Lung cancer kind of being a solid number two after that. So this guy's walking a tough road. That's a tough path, but encouraging. So I subscribe to his channel. I'm watching some of his videos. He's out riding a bike, but he's got, you know, oxygen, and he's trying to maintain. And it reminded me, something I was saying earlier, was that one of the ways to, I mean, you can't beat COPD because it's not curable and it's there. And it is progressive. But one of the ways that all the doctors say is a good, you know, strategy to survive it is to obviously quit smoking, have a good diet with a lot of antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. Mediterranean diet is a fantastic way to go for that, and also to exercise, because when you're doing especially like various cardios and things like that, you're building up the muscles around the lungs, which help the lungs to work better. The kicker here, you know, the cruel irony of that, and this is something I was thinking about regarding fun size, because it messes with your lungs and your ability to absorb oxygen and or expel carbon dioxide. It causes, obviously, shortness of breath, breathing difficulties, and it also causes fatigue. So part of the rub here is that exercise helps, but it's hard to exercise because you don't have the energy to do it. It's kind of almost a cruel joke. And I know some of the videos, I know pulmonary rehab is one of the things they recommend that'll help, which is nurses that specialize in it and trainers, they basically teach you exercises that are more doable with COPD, less taxing, but can help get those muscles working that'll actually help you cope and make you stronger. You know, that's the idea. But that's pretty cruel when you think about it. But I've been reading and or seeing stuff from people that had mild, moderate, whatnot, and exercise, good diet, not smoking, and they were able to actually increase their lung function. You know, their actual ability to use their lungs, they actually were able to make them a little bit better. The disease is still there, because again, you can't get rid of it. But they strengthened the muscles around the lungs and or taught their lungs or learned how to manipulate their lungs better. The diaphragm's helpful here too, which, being a singer, being an actor, I know this is helping me. I'm like perfect storm as far as COPD is concerned. You know, walking 3-6 miles a day sometimes in the hot sun, and or being an actor singer where I use my diaphragm a lot. It's actually gotten me a really good head start to kind of beat this thing a little bit. And I'm thankful. And still scared. But yeah, these people that doing those right things were able to improve their FEV score, I think it is, which is basically, it's like a percentage score that indicates how good your lung function is, how well you're able to utilize what lung you have. Because you can have, 50% of your lungs that are functional and still operate pretty well, because even though that part's dead, so to speak, everything else is working around it. So you're able to make the most of the 50% that you've got. It's kind of the gist. So, there's that. Coffee maker is so loud. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any ways that I can help my friend, because I love her to pieces, and I know she said she was getting short of breath a lot. I've worked with her before. She's hard to beat, you know what I mean? She's one of those people that's got a determination or stubbornness, your call, streak in her more than a mile long. So, hello, some kind of a moth thing going on over here. Bugger off. And she was saying that she was short of breath. I mentioned about like walking to work, take 3 miles in the sun, and she was like, I couldn't even make half of that. I'd be on the sidewalk coughing and spitting. And that worries me. It worries me a lot. Now I know, as far as like medical innovations, again, they're working on stuff, stem cell research and other things. There is a device, which is the only thing that I've seen, which it doesn't, when I describe what it is and what it does, maybe that'll help. It's called a Zephyr valve. Zephyr, like the wind. And essentially it's a one-way valve that they can, I guess they do like remote with a camera down the throat, and they plug this one-way valve into the openings of areas of the lungs that are basically not working. So it helps the air that's trapped inside it get out, which can be a problem because we have a problem bringing in oxygen and also expelling the CO2. So if there's CO2 trapped, that helps the CO2 actually get out, but nothing goes back into it. So you don't have oxygen going in there and then, causing like a stall in your lungs, causing other complications and or just not breathing well. So that's something that I've seen quite a few studies on it and interviews from people that were on oxygen, were out of breath, after getting dressed or bringing in the groceries from the car. And now they're going for walks in the park, without oxygen. So they've definitely got something here. But it's a patch, it's a band-aid, it's not a cure. It helps you utilize what lungs you've got left, which is good. And in order to qualify, you have to have quit smoking for 6 months or something like that. There's, criteria. You have to be at a certain FEV or gold level, whatnot, for them to actually consider you for it. But it's encouraging that such a thing exists. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. But yeah, there's no cure yet. I'm interested in, and I know I've mentioned this before, the stem cells. If we can regrow the damaged parts, if we can teach the stem cells how to replicate. Because that's what they do. They become other things. They're a blank canvas of cell. we are stem cells in the womb. These stem cells become liver, these become pancreas, these become heart, brain. If we can teach them how to actually be lung and or repair, replace. I know they've been working on it for a while now, 10 years plus. There's a lot of shysters out there that say that they've figured out how to do it. And they want you to go to Thailand and India and Mexico, and it'll only cost $30,000. And it's always con artists, right? Always somebody ready to scam people that are desperate. Time-honored tradition. And it's not just an American thing, it's worldwide. It's encouraging that we're not the only ones doing it. So good. Oh yeah, it's my Major Havoc mug. Hold on a sec. Oh, Tiny just entered the room, grabbed some silverware, and I think he's wearing like socks, which is why he was skating and almost fell on his face. He gets that grace from his mom, to be sure. But yeah, I'm remembering a scene that I recently resaw from The West Wing. They were talking about medical conditions and something. They were filming some Muppet stuff, and it was interesting. But I forget who it was. I forget if it was the president's wife or CJ or who it was. But they had an exchange with one of the researchers, medical researcher. And I remember the last words that the main character said before walking away was, "Work faster." Yeah, I rewatched some. I was on YouTube because, we all spend an hour here and there on YouTube. And I was watching some West Wing clips and whatnot. I was just kind of in the mood. I think Stephen Colbert called West Wing Democratic porn. That's fair. So I was watching some Democratic porn. And that scene popped up, and it kind of hit home, because I know they're working on it. And part of me is afraid that they've figured it out, and Big Pharma's covered it up because they make more money with patients than they do cured people. Didn't used to be cynical. The past 10, 20 years I've gotten a little bit more cynical. It's true. But I'm seeing more of the negative and the evil that men do than I did when I was younger. Still an optimist and a little bit of an idealist, don't kid yourself. But especially in the past 10 years, I think, I've seen how far corruption can go. Vote blue, people. Please, dear God in heaven. Do not let that guy back in the White House. And I am still thinking about the content for the faux phone call, walking people home from Ubers and things like that. I'm definitely going to have a folder full. I'm going to make a variety of them depending on what people need. And I'll go over this in the introduction video, but I would recommend that you, if this is something you want, you get comfortable with one or two of the videos. That way you're ready to go depending on the circumstances. I'll try and make them a little bit diverse in that respect. My frog tags keep hitting the stove. And again, I keep getting people asking if I'll do some videos of singing and whatnot. My Facebook friends, feel free to actually leave comments on the video instead of just pinging me through Facebook. Feel free. As well as, liking and that kind of stuff. Because I am trying to build this in that I'm hoping that I can maybe make a difference. I don't have a shop anymore where I can do it that way, but maybe this is where my path is supposed to go. I don't know. Still figuring that out. I know what I like to do, but I'm not sure what my purpose is. Willing to bet it's something in the middle. It's usually how that works, right? So, I'm communicating with the masses, which I like doing. I'd rather be on stage, but it's what I got at the moment. Yeah. So. Yeah. It's been a really weird 15 years or so. Really weird for me. It's amazing how many detours my road took that I wouldn't have guessed they would take. And I know you don't plan. I mean, you do make plans, but I don't know how many people, when they hit 18 or 21, how many people at, 53, for example, look back at their 18, 21-year-old self and say, yep, this is where I thought I'd be. It's weird. It's very strange, the detours and different paths that your life takes. Mind you, I hope to annoy everybody out there for at least another 30 years or so, but hell, I'm hoping for... I'd like to beat George Burns. George Burns was 105. I think that would be swell. Don't know if that's possible. We'll try. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. Make it a great day.